Hey everyone, I'm super excited to announce the very first episode of the Ambitious X Driven podcast. So up until now, it's just been blogs because I was a bit too lazy to edit podcast. And actually, I think it's easier to do that now. So I'm just gonna launch it and see what happens. So it's the very first one, so it's a bit sketchy. It's a bit scrappy, kind of just like seeing what happens. So if you have any feedback, would be great to have that. And yeah, so for the first episode, I'm super happy to have Magnus. Magnus is a good friend, and we've been studying our Masters of Computer Science together. And basically, he started a company called Prozius like past couple of months ago, and they went through Y Combinator, and they just raised a 17 million round, which I think is insane. And right now they're in SF. And yeah, so this will be the interview with them. A bit more background on Magnus and his co-founder Gregor. Magnus has basically been growing up in Germany, and then he went to Singapore for some research and also like hitchhiking around the world. And then he built a traffic simulation startup called Greenway, and that didn't end up going that well because the co-founders, like, there was a lot of conflicts and stuff. But I mean, he's really cracked. Like, while we were doing like courses at ETH, he was flying to India to talk about his startup, and yeah, I think that's really insane. And he's one of the most optimistic people I know at ETH. And then Gregor is also like super insane. If we look at Gregor, he was one of the first to work on realistic AI like portrait image generation, and this is like a fine-tuned stable diffusion model, I think, and it's deployed to AWS, and it's very it's quite complex to do this, and like they serve like 9 million headshots that are generated, and then he basically left us to work on a search engine optimization AI startup, which he wasn't interested in, so he left that to kind of just build on his own, and then he got a thesis at Berkeley, and then Gregor and Magnus met up, and then started brainstorming, and it ended up going super viral, and they have like 50K stars. If you look at Prozius, they have like 50K stars, which is insane. Yeah, 47K stars, right? So it's more than like even the OpenAI API, which is crazy. And yeah, so yeah, I'll let the interview go ahead again. Like, it's very scrappy. So please bear with, and if you have feedback, let me know. And if you also have any other questions or anything you'd want to ask future guests, also that'd be cool. Yeah. Well, yeah. Also, the interview is very spontaneous. So I have like a beard and I need to shave and stuff. But yeah, let's start off then. I guess like, where did you grow up and what were you doing?
Yeah, awesome. So I was growing up in this very small town in Germany, 500 people, 5,000 cows, a cheese factory, and a bakery. That's it. And
Hmm?
while growing up, I played a lot of football. I like soccer. I love to explore places, and I worked in a cheese factory from when I was 16 years old. I was every weekend I produced cheese, and
Hmm?
uh, those cheeses like 80 kilogram blocks of cheese, and I made a forklift license and drove around and
Hmm?
a lot of cheese which you ate. I produced. And over time, yeah, a friend of mine, he designed 5,000 t-shirt designs, and my job was to upload them online. But I like to sell t-shirt designs on like Spreadshirt and Merch by Amazon. But I
Hmm?
hated to do those repetitive tasks, to do the clicking 5,000 times. So I started to create macros for my screen and
Hmm?
started to create Python Selenium scripts to automate that. And I got really addictive, and it's so addictive that you can press a button and you just see a mouse clicking on your computer. It's awesome. I loved it. Mm. Over time, I moved more and more in ML research, studied cognitive science. COVID hit. I left Germany to hitchhike around the world to spend time as a digital nomad. Went to Singapore, did some research for Cambridge, and there I got
Yeah.
to know many researchers from ETH. I thought, wow, amazing people. I want to go there and applied for the master in data science. Got
Yeah.
in, and then I ended up at SPH, where I got to know you in the Student Project House.
Yeah, I think like first time we met was actually I think reliable AI, right? Like
Ah, yeah, with
you
Martin.
were like, I think you were wearing like the Yule t-shirt, and I was like, we were talking about something at the time, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
um,
I was seeing how positive you are, and I thought, oh, this guy is amazing. I want to get to know him.
I don't know, by far, I think you're like the most positive in Zurich, like for sure.
Wow.
Yes, yeah. So Cambridge, like when you were at Singapore, was like the main reason you got to know about ETH, or
Yeah. So in Singapore, I did some. If you go in Singapore to the NUS campus, You
Mm-hmm.
arrive there with the bus, and then it's a own city, the university campus. It looks so futuristic. But there's a big research tower in the entrance called Create.
Mm-hmm.
And every single level, there's a different international university.
Mm-hmm.
And MIT or ETH or Cambridge. I wrote my bachelor thesis there, but there every day I went with to lunch with the people from ETH in a food court. You choose your own food, like Asian, Japanese, and they were just telling me about their research, and I thought, wow, that's awesome. I want that.
Okay, sick. And you also worked in like companies like Skoda and like other companies as well. A lot of internships. Like
Yeah.
I guess like after Singapore, you probably could have just went to find a job or something, right? So like, what made you decide like, oh, I want to continue studying? Or
I mean, it was actually quite obvious because in my bachelor I didn't study that much. Like because of COVID, I directly went into more traveling, and from the
yeah.
first semester on, I got really, really addicted with coding and with ML research, and
Hmm.
so I thought, okay, I would love to learn more about the mathematical foundations of ML, and then I just heard how
Hmm.
much I push people in ETH to learn that, and I thought, right, that's perfect.
Okay, sick. And when you joined ETH, you also had like a startup at the time, right?
Yes. So back from my bachelor university, we won a hackathon with a traffic light optimization idea.
Hmm.
In the hackathon, we were like 10 people randomly together, and then an accelerator came and asked, "Hey, do we want to continue this?" And
Hmm.
so with 4 people from the team, we continued building this traffic light idea. And we had really, really sick algorithms, like reinforcement learning algorithms who could reduce like traffic light waiting times by 25% and CO2 emissions by 50%. And it worked awesome in simulation.
Hmm.
Um, Tried to start a first pilot with Osnabrück, but yeah, the team, yeah, we had many internal fights in the team, um,
Hmm.
because we didn't choose each other like specifically in the beginning. So that
Hmm.
was really, really hard. And then we also didn't have that much traction. Like tech was nice, but like I didn't call 100 cities and just ask them if we can start. So we didn't have much traction. And then we
Hmm.
tried to raise money, and I was responsible for raising money. And in Germany, I tried to raise like for half a year money, and I couldn't raise a single euro. Like I created awesome pitch decks and tried to sell it. Tech was awesome, but yeah, somehow I don't know,
Of
couldn't get the money.
but I mean, what I found was crazy was like because I also tried like building startups with studies, and I can never focus on either. But like somehow you were building a startup, you were doing research, you were studying, and you're like you traveled to India and like across the world at ETH, right? Like I still don't understand that.
Yeah, I really like to go fully into things. So for
Hmm.
example, when I was hitchhiking, one day I asked a friend, "Hey, let's hitchhike from Germany to Iran," and then we just
Hmm.
met up in Munich, and we hit the road, and we got each other hammocks to sleep in the forest, and we just hitchhiked, I don't know, for 6 weeks to Iran and went across Middle East. I think it was awesome, but if you think about how much time you have in the year, it's crazy, right? And you can do so many
Yeah,
things.
uh, yeah. I mean, I think that's insane. Like, I think a semester is too long to do 30 credits, right? Like 6 months, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
at the same time, I have to say, like, for example, in ETH, I really wasn't the best student. Like, some courses I failed, some I barely passed. There were for sure many, many more who just were much better than me and like math and stuff.
Mhm. Okay, like it didn't seem like didn't seem like it. Sick. And then yeah, like maybe I guess you worked a lot in SPH. Yeah, I don't know. Like, do you still miss SPH, like Student Project House?
Yeah, SBH is paradise. SBH is the best place in the world. It's this, it's a student project house next to the main building of ETH, where it's forbidden to study and you have to work on your side project. And I love that. They have an awesome couch, awesome microwave where you can cook every
Hmm.
day your
That
eggs.
that's like that's where you met a lot of the people. Like I mean, like David, Kinos, and everyone, right? Um, I guess that's also where you met Gregor, or.
Yes. When Gregor left his previous startup, so Gregor is my current co-founder, when Gregor
Mhm.
left his previous startup, he made a LinkedIn post and said he wanted to build something more ambitious. And then I reached out to him. So, yeah, let's join.
And then
Let's join.
that's I guess like the start of browser use then, or like.
Yeah, so basically last summer I was
Mm.
I was feeling low, really, really low, like not much energy. My previous startup, we had like lawyers involved and I was not going anywhere. It was really, really
Yeah,
hard. And always in my mind, I thought, okay, should I just push through or should I just pivot and quit this team?
yeah,
And so I quit. I decided after a long, long time, okay, I quit. And then I started to build small side projects, like a small app for gold tracking or where you
yeah.
can
I remember.
get money on your gold. And yeah, just week by week, new side project, and then met Gregor there.
Mm. Damn. How was like the decision for Greenway? Like, I guess like it was like a lot of struggle. So, because that's like a big decision, right? Or like, how are you able to decide that?
To quit.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, it was really hard. I mean, I talked with many people. I read essays from Paul Graham. I asked
Mm.
many mentors, and some said, "Oh, just if it's not working, just pivot and build something else." But
Yeah,
others, like mentors which I had for many years, they said, "No, no, you have to go away from the playground, and now you come to the real world, and now you just need to push through. You cannot always do what's fun." And
yeah,
I see futures for both, that I just pushed through for like 10 years and one day look back and say, oh, we pushed through 10 years and that's why we built it. But
yeah.
especially in this phase of my life, I think it's really useful to just build for 1 week, push, see if people like it, and then just move on if they don't.
Yeah, actually, like, why do you want to build, right? Like, you could forget. Okay, I mean, like, going a bit forward, like, you met like Greg Brockman and stuff, right, from OpenAI. Like, you probably could get a job at OpenAI, for instance, right? So, what's like the like lots of money, lots of talent, and everything. So, what's like the reason that you want to build?
That's a good question. And I think that also changes over time because, for example,
Mm,
1 year ago, if Perplexity would offer me a job, I guess I would be, wow, that's awesome. Like I take it directly, right? But I
yeah,
mean, now we say no, fuck you, we do our own thing. So I think it also, of course, changes with leverage over time. But
yeah.
I don't know. For me, it feels really natural to just.
Does it ever feel? Because I'm assuming you're working like 12 hours a day right now, or like 14 hours. Does it ever feel like work, or do you feel like this is like the like really really great that you're moving so fast?
I think I have a tendency to sleep in on couches or on co-working spaces. Like already in my bachelor university, I slept in a co-working space and SPH. It just feels natural to wake up in the morning and code a bit and solve bugs or solve problems
Mm,
and then just do that and then eat and then walk a bit and then sleep.
yeah. Wait, can we mention like the SPH thing, by the way, or is it?
No, no, we can, of course, yeah.
That's fine. Like, okay, like I think you're like the only craziest person. Like, so you spent like a month or something sleeping in SPH, right? Or
Yeah, yeah,
you brought the hammock and what was
yeah.
the reason? Like, I still don't understand fully, to be honest.
That's a good question. It just, sometimes you are there at night and then you think, okay, should I really go home now? And then you think, oh, fuck, it's like half an hour with the tram. And you see
Yeah,
this awesome couch and you just think, oh, I could just sleep here. And then, yeah, you could just, and then you just go there and then you fall asleep and then you wake up then next morning because the cleaning lady is coming. And then you get up again and get the
and then you
shower.
can,
But, but yeah, I think, as I said, I think I really like to go fully in for some periods of time, but in other
yeah.
periods of time, I just hitchhike for 6 months or do other stuff. Mm,
Mhm.
yeah, just
Nice.
evolve
Yeah.
over time.
Maybe we can go back to like, yeah, I guess browser use, right? Like, how did that start? Like, actually, I, I was still a bit surprised. Like, one day it's like, we're top of HackerRank, Hacker News, and then like next day it's like into YC, and like it's crazy, right?
Yeah, it went really, really fast. Where's he's already over a couple of months later.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, with browser use, so I told you about those t-shirt designs where I created Python Selenium scripts, right? And I was
yeah.
always so annoyed if you go, for example, to Photoshop. You have 1 million buttons there. You know exactly what you want to do with the software, but you have no
Yeah.
clue where to click on which button to get to
Mhm.
your goal. And I was thinking, why can I not just tell my computer what to do? And it just figures out itself how to do the
Mhm.
tasks. And then with Gregor, it was somehow actually I just last week I read the research proposal if you apply to ETH, you have to send in a research proposal to get the ESOP scholar. Okay, and
Yeah.
I was rejected in the ESOP scholar, but my research proposal was exactly browser use. Like I proposed them that I built, I told, okay, GPT 3.5 is now good enough at reasoning. Now we only need to give them access to the web. So I want to create a data set so that they can create actions on
Yeah.
the computer, and I would start with the browser. And and I think had this idea for a long time to just combine this web scraping with LLM fields, just to enable them to take action.
Mhm.
And with Swagger, it seemed, okay, yeah, we can do some tool call, we can use Selenium or Playwright. And yeah, we just built a prototype in 5 days, pushed it to Hacker News. We thought it's so shitty, like it doesn't really work. It's not, but people were so fascinated about AI clicking the browser, so
Yeah.
they just early adapter came in, and since then, over the last 3 months, we are now the biggest open source repository for browser agents.
Damn. Sick. Yeah, and uh, I mean that's insane. Like just how fast that happened, right? Yeah. Uh, then you got into to YC, right? Like you got the actually. I remember like the YC interview. I was like jumping in your recording.
Oh yeah, yeah. When we recorded the video, so basically we pushed to Hacker News, and
Yeah.
I think 1 week later there was already the YC deadline. We applied
Yeah.
to YC, got the interview with Jared, and Jared
Yeah.
didn't respond. Like for 3 weeks, he didn't respond. And no, 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 yes. And
Yeah.
every week we pushed him new updates. We did this week, we did this.
Yeah.
And then after 3 weeks, I was taking a week off with my girlfriend. I went to Oman to the desert, and Jared
Yeah.
posts us, "Hey, I want a second interview." And then I thought, "Oh fuck, I need to get out of the desert. I need to get Wi-Fi somewhere." And then yeah, he said, "You're in."
Damn. Okay. And well, and once you got the offer, was it clear that you were gonna do YC, or like do you think there was also like you had to like think about it?
So Gregor, he actually already had a position for Berkeley for his master
Yeah.
thesis,
Yeah.
but I
That's a
think
big
at this point it was clear. Like we just,
just
yeah,
instantly. Well.
I
Okay.
think it was a low brainer.
Okay. And you also have to like drop your masters, or like
I mean,
how
I'm
did that
still
work?
enrolled, right? I think I can
Yeah.
extend it for 4 more semesters.
Yeah.
My parents ask me a lot about this. Also for Gregor, they are still asking. But yeah, I will just, yeah, keep it paused.
Okay. Nice. So you've been in SF for like 3 months. You're with like some of the most ambitious people across the world. Most of them are US. What do you think are like the main differences between US and Europe?
Actually, I think in terms of people, it's quite similar. Like, for example, especially around ETH. I mean, there are super many
Yeah.
ambitious people in SPH. It's like in terms of people, they're not smarter here in any sense. Um, Maybe
Mhm.
in terms of, in compared to Europe, to my hometown, maybe you get more pushed to build awesome stuff. If I tell someone here, hey, I now want to build my startup tonight, they say, oh, awesome, let's do co-working. And I mean, my hometown, I guess they will say, hey, what are you doing? But
Yeah.
I mean, for example, in my home village, they're all farmers, right? So I think they work all harder than I am. I mean, they get up, I don't know, 6 a.m. in the morning, they milk the cows, right? They
Yeah.
take like 2 days holidays off per year because they every day they need to feed the cows. And I mean, they just work like 14 hours per day. It's standard there. Like no
Yeah.
one talks about it. But I think in terms of working hard as a farmer, it's like even more physical and more extreme.
Yeah.
Smartness compared to ETH and here's, I would say it's similar. Just the
Mm.
the the community. Like if I raise here money, I don't know, I send out a save to an investor and he sends me the money. If I raise money in Europe, I go to a notary and they have thousands of side things and I want a board seat for 100K investment. Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy.
Okay. Damn. And like, do you think like how do you think you changed going to SF? Like, do you think your ambition increased more, or like I don't know.
It's interesting. I think for me, it feels I'm the same, right? For me, it's interesting,
Yeah.
all those things which I had in my mind, all those ideas, all those, let's say, stories.
Yeah.
For me, they were always important. But maybe people 2 years they didn't listen to me that much. But now if I'm the hot company in YC, people say wow and they look up to me. But my ideas are still exactly the same as 2 years ago. You know,
Yeah.
it's interesting how just because of you created something awesome, people now look up to you,
Mhm.
and this is a little bit strange. And I also, for example, if I walk through YC through all the companies and say, oh hey browsers, it feels. I mean, I don't want this. I mean, I want to be on eye level with all people, right?
Yeah.
It sometimes feels a little bit weird.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think. Yeah. That's probably a bit weird. Like I can't really relate too much, but I can kind of understand how that means, right? Like how that feels. Yeah.
But
Um.
now it feels awesome. I mean, now we have, I mean, we raised now 17 million, and
Yeah.
now I mean the question is, okay, what to do with it? And now I can hire like friends, I can hire cracked friends who just, and then I can build an awesome company, and I can build an awesome community.
Mhm.
And like so often, for example, last week we did a session where me and Craig, we talked about our company values. What are the core values of our company which we want to build? Okay,
Yeah.
and we were at the whiteboard and we drafted them. And I did something like this like 10 times already in my life, where I thought, okay, what are the core values, what I want to live after, and also my previous startup. But for me, it seems
Mhm.
in a previous startup now it's kind of, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't have any like like
Mhm.
consequence. But here, I mean, maybe this is the next Google, right? And we set now here the standard of the culture and so on. And so it feels just much more serious, even though we are still really playful all the time.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean that's insane, right? I think just like the insane like momentum you guys have as well. Yeah, I mean, this is more real, I guess, than that. How was the YC batch for you? Like, were you able to focus? Like, I mean, I'm also like my perspective is like SPH, right? Like, how does it differ? What's it like?
Yeah. So I believe we were much more productive in terms of product in SBH. Like
Really?
if we wouldn't get into SBH, our product would be 100 times better now. Okay,
Yeah,
because here there were, I mean, here are just also many distractions. Um,
yeah,
I mean, also due to that we went viral, of course, then there are people emailing us all the time. But of course,
mm,
here, I mean, they helped us a little bit to launch a cloud hosted version where we can make money.
mm,
I guess we wouldn't have that if we wouldn't been here. So they helped us definitely on the traction side, plus on the cloud hosted version, plus meeting amazing people, everyone who's
mm,
building on agent, everyone, the eval company where we do evaluations with is in our batch. And
mm,
yeah, so, but in terms of product, like SPH is awesome. Like you can build awesome stuff, just keep on grinding and then,
mm. Would you recommend YC to people from SPH if they got the offer?
yes, yes. Awesome. Yeah, you meet awesome people, you get access to awesome funding. It just kickstarts your company.
Kickstarter. Mhm. Uh, yeah. So you raised 70 million, right? Like
Yeah.
that's crazy. I, how are you able to do this? And also maybe like why? What do you kind of foresee?
I mean, how we did this? So in that round, we had like 4 million already on uncapped saves before we even took investor meetings. So in
Yeah.
YC, you have demo day, and then normally you raise the money the week before demo day. You schedule all the investor meetings. And I had
Yeah.
like 140 investor meetings scheduled. Okay. And then,
Yeah.
then some investors who know that they are in the later part of the week, they emailed me and said, hey, I want to be part of your round. Here, just take my uncapped save. So I don't care about the valuation at all. Just take my money
Well,
without
damn.
a meeting. I want to be part of the round. This went like crazier and crazier, and this gave us a lot of leverage.
Yeah.
And yeah, I did all the pitching, and I think one thing over the meetings which evolved was my vision for the company got like crazier and crazier with every single meeting.
Yeah. I think I saw Gregor saying like he wants to build AGI, right? Like is that the vision now, or it's
Or I
changed?
mean, at least the tools for AGI so that AGI can take action on the web.
Yeah. Hmm. Uh, okay. I also had like a question of like, what does your work schedule look like? I know SPH you're already working super hard. how has it been since going through YC, and how's it now?
Like the last week, I wake up at 6:30. I I have
Well,
like interviews with people, so for example from Europe, which I hire in the morning, and then
yeah,
normally lunch at around 12 or 1. Most often we order Uber, and then most often there's some afternoon down. I'm definitely less productive, and then
yeah,
dinner, and most often in the evening there's some events or some friends come over. Yesterday we did barbecue here. I think it varies a lot. For example, this morning I went now for the small hike this morning.
hmm
Yeah, I now I really try to push away all distraction again and really go back to building mode from next week onwards, or from today onwards.
yeah, yeah. Hopefully, another distraction. Um, yeah, and maybe like one question that might be a bit more personal, but like, how do you feel about like your relationships and like friends and everything? Like, you've been really focused and kind of like locked away for 3 months. Uh, like, do you feel that, or do you notice that, or
Yeah, I mean, I definitely talk every now and then with my family. Or right now, there's also my best friend from my bachelor university. He's right now here in SF and visiting me. I'm sleeping now on my couch and they're sleeping in my room. And
nice? Yeah,
and this, I mean, this definitely feels crazy because they reflect to me. You know, if they would have told me like 6 months ago, oh, now we have when I was in this town of Greenway that, I mean, I meet all these crazy people and we get suddenly 17 million. Or if I tell my family, you know, there's like a normal job with 50 or 60K per year,
yeah.
it's just so insane. And for me,
Do,
it feels kind
hmm?
of normal for me. Of course, it feels crazy, but for me, day to day, I still go out, go for a walk. And so the
Yeah,
things which you go day to day, they feel completely normal. They feel you go to the gym, you go for a run. Of course, you meet crazy people which spike a little bit your dopamine. But for the people outside of you, like family, they
yeah.
just think this is completely absurd and this doesn't make any sense.
Actually, does your family still like tell you, oh, you should get a job, or no? It's like, okay, now it's good.
No, not a job. But they tell me I should do my master,
Okay,
but no, they
nice.
don't tell me when.
Okay, okay, sick. Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, that's still insane. Like, it's also like weird. Like we were like speaking like 6 months or something ago. Like totally fine. Like, and now you guys just raised like 17 million. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
But it's also, of course, I mean, so much hype, right? It's crazy because people look up because we raise so much money or because we built this product. But I think still browser use is not extremely useful. I mean, it's a nice tool to create demos, but it fails so often.
mhm,
And I have in my mind a way how to make it truly amazing. And this is what truly excites me. The future which I can see for this tool, which is just so useful and just this new interface to the web. This is what really excites me, but not that
yeah,
we raised like 17 million or this.
yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, like also you guys have like the best background for it. Like Gregor's built real fake photos, which is super cool, and you also have like the machine learning reinforcement learning background. Which I think it's sick. Like I already use browser use and it's like insane. I was like, I think I sent you like recordings of it, right? Like I was like, what the fuck? It was so amazing.
Yeah. I think for the
Um,
first time, yeah, if you just tell it and yeah. But of course, I don't like honestly, I don't use it to answer my messages or any of those stuff, right? So
yeah,
we are still away from actually a new interface to the internet. But
yeah,
we have three other months in front of us.
yeah. You guys are moving fast. So you said you're doing hiring now, like you just fundraised.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you've interviewed a lot of people, and maybe you
yeah,
can tell me more about like what are the sort of people you look for, and like what you look out for.
yeah. That's quite interesting because I mean, I also do this for the first time interviewing, right? So what questions should I ask? Which one? And what we want is, of course, we want to have an awesome community. We want to get a hacker house where just people can hack together, have just fun building together, and just yeah, working really hard, of course, and just all the time. Um, I think that's standard. And then
Yeah,
going fully in, and then of course, if they have like some understanding of LLMs or of the browser side, scraping side, is definitely useful. But they don't need to
yeah,
have a PhD in math or PhD in LLMs or something like this. I mean, I did traffic lights 5 months ago, right? So,
yeah,
but yeah, So just people who really are consistent, work all the time, are amazing, and just for founding engineer roles, it's mainly important that you can just ship extremely fast. So
Yeah,
you don't think so much, you just ship, you see does it work, otherwise you build something else. Just ship all the time. That's the most important thing. You don't overthink, just ship.
yeah. And maybe for someone who doesn't have that experience yet, like I don't know, bachelor ETH or master beginning, what are the tips? Like if someone wants to follow in your footsteps or also join browsers, but you don't like maybe they're not experienced enough.
Yeah. I think, for example, the startup route, I think it's a most useful thing to build MVPs in 5 days.
Mhm.
Use Cursor, build awesome things which you think, wow, that's insane. Launch it somewhere, send it to your friends, or upload it to Hacker News, and then
Mhm.
see what people say. For example, my last thing, this goal setting app which I did, I went to
Yeah,
ETH in front of the main building, and I just showed it to people, and I asked them. I read Mom Test, this book, how to ask questions to people, and I ask them, hey, tell me about the last time when you had problems achieving your goals. And they're telling me, and then maybe they say, oh, what do you think of this app? And then they tell me, okay, that's shitty, or they tell me like try to make them
yeah,
use it. And then with with the goal setting app, I thought it's the most amazing thing ever, and I thought, wow, this is insane. But then 2 weeks later, I thought, okay, now let's try to build something else.
yeah,
Pushed it, and then suddenly it took off. Like I didn't expect that in that way.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
definitely a lot of luck. So I think all those people from ETH, from SPH, they're smarter than I am, and they're many of them are more hardworking than I am. But it's just iterating, a little bit of luck, a little bit of craziness.
yeah, yeah. I think like this. I think probably like one of the biggest things missing is just like this marketing aspect, right? Like, I think you guys got like it's like really strong push from Hacker News. So it's really great that you guys pushed like publish it because a lot of people don't even publish, right?
Yeah,
Um, yeah,
yeah. I
that's
would
awesome.
definitely push to just show it to other people, open source it for the beginning at least. I mean,
Yeah,
OpenAI also in the beginning had it open source or Cursor or Salt.
yeah, cool. I think yeah, 3 more minutes, right? Like, yeah. Anything else from your side, or I don't know.
Life is amazing.
Sick. uh, oh yeah. So you plan to stay in SF then, right? To build or
Yes, yes, we want to stay here for
yeah.
now.
Like, what's like the kind of reasoning behind this, or
Mhm. Just like every week we meet here, someone from Langchain, someone from Entropic, someone from OpenAI is
Mm,
around the corner. Then just amazing other companies who are just one step or two steps ahead of us where we can learn a lot. And I think
yeah.
it's just to build the company much easier because you have this community of amazing
Mm,
people. And it just feels normal for you to build that stuff. If I go back to my home village, it would be normal to if I get some sheeps or some cows into my garden, you know? And if I'm
yeah,
here, it's just normal to build AI agents.
yeah. So do you think someone at SPH, even if they haven't built something yet, like, do you think it makes sense to just move to SF or
I think what I see many people doing here is, just come for 1 month instead of maybe doing an internship in summer, do the internship here or just fly here for like 6 weeks, go to some events, get to know some people.
yeah,
Just message people on X. Hey, should we hang out? Should we meet up? Come
yeah,
to some place, meet people, just to get a feeling, how it feels here. But I think SPH is amazing. Like you can build so amazing things there. You have this small community there, and I think like fundraising and stuff is just easier here. But you can do the same, like less valuation in SPH for sure. It's just
yeah,
harder.
yeah.
But it's
Okay,
it's
cool.
not it's not that if you have a shitty product, you come to SF and suddenly you are amazing. You still need to build something amazing with what people love.
Yeah. Well, hope you enjoyed the interview. Um, yeah. Before you leave, please do let me know if you have any feedback. There's gonna be many more podcast episodes. So also maybe you have more sort of interesting guests you'd want to see or any questions you'd want to ask them. Um, and then yeah, highly recommend you go to ETH Student Project House to build if that's what you want to do. If this is like something that you've always wanted to do but felt like you couldn't. I think we have great role models now, and also a lot of people still building there. And then I would like to give a quick shout out to Founderful Campus. They're one of the sponsors of the newsletter and podcast. So Founderful Campus is like a VC program for ambitious students across Switzerland. So ETH, EPFL, St. Gallen as well. And they basically get you into this like entrepreneurship world of building startups, seeing what it's like being a VC, a venture capital that invests in startups. You get a lot of ownership with the startups you invest in, and you get mentorship from like really, really great founders and VCs. So I think it's a really great program, and a lot of the guests I've interviewed, like Irina, Vinitra, went through the program. So yeah, consider joining them. And also, if you're early stage founder, I think they give like a 25K convertible loan, which is probably like one of the best deals in Switzerland. And they're the fastest to move, like within 2 weeks, and I think that's really insane. Very founder friendly. Anyhow, yeah, there's gonna be more episodes. Hope you enjoy. See you. Bye bye.